The ground I was standing on had kept its secrets for 4 years, and judging by the mess around me, it wasn't going to give them up easily now. Somewhere in the soil there was a body. Her name was Kate Prout. She'd been placed there by her husband, who had admitted to murdering her a week previously, after which he led the police to the spot where he claimed to have disposed of her body, the place where I was now standing. It was a wooded crime scene of around 250 square metres, over which had already trundled police officers, a cadaver dog and handler, a mechanical digger, a man with a radar, and a forensic archaeologist. Lots of people, but no body. Kate was last seen alive on the 5th of November 2007. Bonfire night. The final contact she made was a call to her bank. Then she disappeared. 5 days after she was reported missing by her husband, Adrian. They were in the process of a messy divorce. You can probably guess the rest. 4 years later, after being convicted of her murder by a jury, Adrian, who professed his innocence from jail for several months after the trial, finally caved in and confessed, which is why I was in Woodland with a team of police officers, crime scene investigators and forensic archaeologists, surveying a landscape. My name is Peter Folding, and I find things. By the time I'm called to places like this patch of land in Gloucestershire, things have generally gone south for someone. I'm rarely asked to look for the living. I'm looking for the dead, or for the clues that will tell the authorities how they met their end. Sometimes it's simple. The body is in a garden or under floorboards, but sometimes, when the murderer chooses open space, a field, a wood, a lake, it's much harder. X rarely marks the spot. In those cases, the police call me. My ability to find things comes from experience and a curious mind. After so many years and so many searches, my ability to locate people and things is almost instinctive. I know where to look and what questions to ask of the landscape. Is that depression a drain or a grave? Is that mound a tree root or a buried torso? There are signs everywhere. You just need to be able to read them. My world is below the surface, and on that cold grey November afternoon in 2011, I scanned the scene calmly and began to digest the information before me. I was there with 3 of my colleagues from the search and rescue company I run, Specialist Group International, SGI. I had been called up the previous day by the detective inspector in the case, Julia Moronia. She was not in a good mood. The search should have been easy. Kate's body should have been located, recovered, and in the morgue by now. But for some reason, even though Adrian had taken officers to where he said he had buried her, she could not be found. Instead, everywhere you looked, there were holes. There was a JCB standing still to one side, ready to do any heavy work required, and several people with spades. "We're struggling to find her, and need you to do your magic on this one," Julia said. A search starts with questions. How long ago was the body buried? What type of soil or ground cover are you dealing with? Could the body have been moved after it was dumped? Could there have been a watercourse running over the area at any time? Are there wild animals around? All these potential variables will affect how and where the search takes you. I crouched down and scraped the ground with the trowel I always carry with me on my searches, and knew immediately what the problem was. Radar equipment had been used that day, but the soil was fine-grained and sandy, not ideal conditions for ground-penetrating radar. I had years of experience working with this type of equipment, so I knew the limitations in these soil conditions. Radar shows disturbances and anomalies under the surface, but grains of sand evenly redistribute themselves after they've been disturbed by things such as rainfall. Think of how sandcastles on the beach disappear after the tide has come in, leaving no trace. After 4 years underground, all the soil on top of Kate would have evened itself out. We needed to wind back and start from the only concrete thing we knew, which was that Adrian had told the police a specific area in which he said he had buried the body. Before the search operation started, there were 5 pheasant pens in the area. Simple structures of 4 posts with corrugated iron across the top where pheasants could shelter. Adrian admitted he buried his wife in front of one of these. They had all been dismantled by the time I arrived. "Can we put everything back as it was?" I asked Julia. She gladly obliged and ordered everyone off the scene so that me and my colleagues could return the area to how it was when they had arrived and start again, focusing on the location Adrian had identified. Once that had been done, I briefed my team on what they needed to do the following morning, as I had to attend another police operation. Having re-established the scene, I tasked one of the team, Chris, to scan the area with our powerful metal detector. As often, bodies are buried in shallow graves with jewellery still on them. Within a few minutes, the detector issued a high-pitched squawk. The area was swept to double-check, and again, the machine beeped. The spot the metal detector had indicated was marked, and the forensic archaeologist moved in. Time can appear to stand still at these points in a search when it's clear the target is in sight, and as the soil was methodically and slowly scraped away, it was obvious what we'd discovered. Exposed human fingers jutted from the shallow hole in the earth. They were stark, almost obscene against the surrounding woodland floor, set into a claw, decomposed, with bone and tendons showing through discoloured flesh. A hush fell over the scene. The only noise was the soft scraping of the archaeologist's trowel as they continued to reveal more of the body. Something sparkled in the light. As more soil was brushed away, Kate's wrist was revealed. There was still a watch on it.